I've had a bit of a bee in my bonnet about Bill Maher since he basically got persnickety at the beloved Representative Katie Porter from California, who is running for the Senate seat there. Katie Porter, up and coming progressive Democrat, who is fabulous, who should have been given a massive open platform for chatting. I've had a little bee in my bonnet about Bill Maher since then. Okay, Katie Porter mentioned two things that really you can't mention when you go on Bill Maher: oldness and the fragile male ego, because those are two sensitive points, and she accidentally stepped in it a couple times. Katie, call me. I have coached people through going on Bill Maher and what to do on several occasions, one of which was a representative who got the one and only standing ovation of any guest ever on Bill Maher. So whatever. You can't mention those two things. You have to laugh at his jokes. Boom, done. End of story. Helps if you're a guy. Whatevs. But I've had a bee in my bonnet about Bill Maher ever since I saw him kind of shut her down. It was just like two dudes on display. And he's got Piers Morgan coming on all the time, who I would love to hear much, much less from. Piers Morgan has his own show. We had to hear all about it. And then it was like two bros being broy, like, yeah, we can all agree to these culture war things. We all agree, culture war things. And then I wasn't going to say anything, and time had passed, and I know it's already the end of the week, and Bill's about to have his next show. So maybe, Bill, if you are hearing this, maybe you will not do these things anymore and disturb the female part of your viewership or anyone who is sensitive to these things anyway. I saw Bill Maher and Piers Morgan. What are these guys, buddies? And of course, he goes on Piers Morgan with Piers Morgan's big audience. And what does he talk about? Culture wars. Here we go.
Ever gets canceled for being too woke. So you can say the craziest thing, like men can have babies, and then nobody will, even though people are thinking, well, that's kind of nuts, nobody will say it. They'll just fall in line. Yeah, exactly. That's what I've always thought. Men can have babies. Sure. I saw a dude who was glowing yesterday. I mean, and that's the problem.
And it's totally insane.
Coward.
Actually, look at these two agreeing. Isn't it wonderful how this Trump-supporting, sycophant, democracy destruction enabler can talk to Bill and they can both have a good giggle about something. See, there's still things we can all agree on. First of all, the right does jump on and try to smush and cancel the idea about a lot of the ideas coming out of the left. Okay, so yeah, people are trying to smush that. Secondly, Bill, if you could, when you're going on these shows, talk about things that are, maybe a little less agreeable to the right. Are you allowed to do that? Do they tell you what you can talk about and what you can't? Or do you bring your topics and you want to just be kind of agreeable? And is this the biggest bee in your bonnet? The woke culture thing? I know you're really upset about woke culture, but you're edging dangerously toward that really jacked up area of media where people who are allies to the left, allies to the labor left, to civil rights, etc., start doing the bidding of the right. Can you stop with that? Please use your platform for more. There's more to be done. You can talk about maybe, the corporate intrusion into our lives. How about that? Try that. I'm sure you have some very interesting and funny takes on that. But this is sad. Put your comments below. I'm Julianna Forlano. This is the Political Voices Network. Thank you very much.
Republicans say they won't cut Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid. But can honest, hard-working middle-class Americans really believe what these politicians say? Republicans said they wouldn't overturn Roe v. Wade. Here's what Supreme Court Justices Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Coney Barrett said during their Senate confirmation hearings.
Roe v. Wade. It is a precedent of the United States Supreme Court. A good judge will consider it as precedent of the United States Supreme Court.
Roe v. Wade. It's settled as a precedent of the Supreme Court.
Roe is not a super precedent, but that doesn't mean that Roe should be overruled.
Well, we saw how that turned out. They played us for fools. Tell your elected officials to keep their hands off of our Social Security and health care benefits. Fool me once. Let Majority Rule was responsible for this message. LetMajorityRule.org is a project of the Marvin Lucas Super PAC, which is responsible for and paid for this ad and is not affiliated with or authorized by any political campaign or candidate or candidates committee.